The entire history of Kevin the Cube. In Season 5, a mysterious purple cube appeared from the sideways rift. It started on this mountain next to Paradise Palms, and although it was first thought to be stationary, it began to move at a rate of 1 revolution every 1 hour and 43 minutes. It was unclear where it would end up in its journey, and on its way around the map, it ended up printing 7 runes, which would give you a zero gravity effect if you stood near them. On the way to its final destination, it also ended up destroying one of the buildings and tilted, and after making its way to the edge of Loot Lake, the cube appeared to dissolve into the lake, turning Loot Lake into a strange substance akin to the cube itself. At the beginning of Season 6, it was revealed that the cube was still intact, as it rose from the waters, taking the island in the middle of Loot Lake with it, forming the floating island. It also created a large hole in Loot Lake, creating a massive vortex and exposing the 0 point. And after just 2 days of the island rising, the cube began to move the island to each one of the runes it had printed in Season 5. After powering up all the runes, he summoned them all to him. Then they all connected to him and he began to drain the power from them. And on the first day of Fortnitemares 2018, the cube exploded the floating island into multiple pieces. The cube's fragments also began to release the cube monsters. Shortly after, the cube began to crack and began to drip its nectar into the 0 point until the final drip on November 4th, 2018. The cube then began to spin rapidly, which led to a white flash and the cube splitting apart. Then the players were teleported to the in-between. Shortly after, a rift formed and took the shape of a butterfly. Then a cutscene played of the butterfly landing on the finger of all the players present. Then it rifted everyone back to the map. And in place of Loot Lake, there was Leaky Lake, which was the remains of Loot Lake, void of the cube monsters. And at the end of Season 6, everyone received a backbling called Little Cat, which looks like this. And after a long time with no cube, in Chapter 2 Season 7, a massive UFO appeared on the map and ended up taking the very middle of the island, which was thought to include the cube. And then in the final event of the season, when everyone was inside of the UFO, Kevin the Cube spawned in. Shortly after, Kevin ended up losing his power. Then all the players got to interact with the cube, turning Kevin blue. Then it was revealed that there was actually tons of Kevins that the aliens cloned. Then the entire UFO started exploding, sending all the other cubes flying down to the map. And later, the gold cube and the purple cube ended up having a mini event with each other. And later, all the cubes ended up moving to the center of the map, where the gold cube ended up levitating and summoning the cube queen. Then the cube queen ended up building a cube pyramid. Then the cube pyramid opened up the sky, where there were ships and tons of other stuff. And after a little bit, the entire island flipped, which was insane. And so far, that's where Kevin's story concludes. Use code ZokerYT for a chance to win 1,000 V-Bucks.